Hey guys, Amanda here with my very handsome oldest son, Thomas Liam here.
Hi.
So coming to you guys today, we want to talk about kids and money. So in my house, and I know many people do this differently, but in my house, my kids do not get an allowance for doing normal things around the house. It is my theory that we all, sorry, got interrupted there. It's my theory that we all live in this house together. And therefore, because of that, we're all going to pitch in and take care of the household. So my kids, Thomas, how old are you?
12.
How old's your little brother?
7.
So I have a 12 and a 7-year-old boy, and they both have chores in the house. And our chores rotate, so we have a chore chart. And so one night he may do the kitchen, and the next night he does the living room, and the next night he's going to do the bathrooms and clean the cat boxes. And then he's going to have dining room. So it rotates around, and we all pitch in and we all do the entire house throughout the week. And so I'm curious to know, drop in the comments below, if you give your kids an allowance for chores, don't bump the table, buddy. If you give your kids an allowance for chores, drop a 1 below, and if you don't, drop a 2 below. So Thomas is going to jump in here and tell us, so tell me, buddy, what do you have to do in our house in order to earn an allowance?
Okay, so to earn allowance, I have my basic chores, and I have to pick up after myself and everything. But to earn the allowance, I have to do extra. So let's say my chore was to do the kitchen that night. So I would do the kitchen, which is what I'm required to do. But then I would have to do maybe the living room or the dining room or something like that and do extra, and then I would earn money based on how dirty it was and how much I had to do.
And so my guideline is that they can't get an allowance for doing each other's chores. So he can't do his little brother's chores and then get an allowance for that, because now he's taken away his little brother's responsibility. So they either have to do a room that is not assigned to anyone that day, or they have to do my chore for the day in order to get an allowance. Kind of works out for me in that sense. So, but that is how, I think it's really important to teach kids about responsibility and money. And in my house, this is how we do it. Melissa says they give them a cost of living budget. Curious to know how you do that and what that looks like for you guys, Melissa. That's really interesting. Because that's probably right along the lines of what I'm doing, and just kind of teaches them the difference between responsibility and money. So I always tell my kids that I have 2 responsibilities as a mom. 1, I have to make sure they make it to 18 alive. And 2, I have to make sure that they go out into society and they're not just complete and utter jerks. And so the way I do that is by teaching them responsibility. And so I try to get my kids to understand that in order to, we have responsibilities in life. And so that means that when they grow up and they move out of the house, and whether they're living in a college dorm or living on their own or living with a roommate or whatever the situation may be, that they have to pick up after themselves. That there are certain things around the house that just have to be done because you live there. And so that's the responsibility that I try to teach my kids through chores. And then the extra stuff that they do is what they get paid for. So it's kind of like teaching them about life and a job. So their job is the extra things, and that's where they can earn money. So many times, Thomas especially, he's getting a little older, and we have this thing with cars. Do you remember what my deal is with your car when you get ready to buy your first car?
Yes.
What is that deal?
Okay, so the deal is that you will give me as much money as I have earned in that time. You will give me as much as I have. So I only have to have half of what I need to pay for my car.
So I'll match you so you can get a car that's twice as expensive as what you have money for. So he's really on a mission right now. He is working on saving for a car because he's 12 years old, just turned 12, but he doesn't want just a beater car. So he's really working on saving towards that. So he is my saver, Daniel is my spender. But this one, every time he gets money, it doesn't matter if it's Christmas money, if it's birthday money, if it's money he makes here through doing extra chores, if it's money that someone gives him for doing something else, what do you do with it instantly?
I give it to you, so you can put it in my bank account.
So we can put it in the bank account. This kid has a pretty decent savings account from doing that at this point. So I'm really proud of him in that sense. Daniel, on the other hand, I kind of have to break his money up and say, okay, you can have this much to spend and this much has to go into savings, so that he builds up savings. Otherwise, he'd have nothing ever because he's a spender. So I'm curious just to know how you deal with money with your kids and how you teach them about responsibility around money. So I'd love to have you just drop in the comments what that looks like for you, how you engage your kids in money, in budgeting. I'm not at that point yet with my youngest. I'm starting to get there with Thomas, where he is going to start engaging himself in budgeting and helping look at budget when he wants to spend something or he wants to do something. The other thing I do that I just thought of as we were talking about budgets is when we go on vacations, I tell them there's certain things that I will buy on vacation, but that if they want to buy anything extra or anything special for themselves, that they have to buy it for themselves. So typically for about the month before vacations, I almost don't ever end up doing my own chores around the house, because between him and his little brother, they're trying to rack up some money for vacation. And so they're constantly doing my chores for me. It's really nice. So not only do I get to go on vacation, but the month before I don't have to do any household chores because they're earning money. So just wanted to pop in and share that with you guys today. I really hope you found some value in this. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, drop in the comments a 1 if you give your kids allowance for chores. Drop a 2 if they have to do something extra and they don't just get an allowance. And if you do a situation similar to like Melissa's comment where she gives them a cost of living budget, drop that in, and I'd love to have you explain what that looks like to me. I'm always looking for ideas to help teach my kids about money and finances and just help them get ready for that, because unfortunately schools, high schools, colleges, none of that teaches these kids any of that. These kids are coming out of school with no financial knowledge in their life, and so I'm really passionate about it, not only with my kids, but I'm really curious to see how other people deal with it with their kids as well, because I think it's a pretty interesting topic, and I think it's an important topic that unfortunately a lot of parents don't think about talking with their kids about until they're like 16, 17, 18, and at that point it's almost too late to instill some of those really good financial habits with them. So I hope everybody has a fabulous Friday and a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. Thomas, thanks for hopping on and talking to us about money today. We appreciate it. Everybody have a really great day. Bye, guys.